Hi. I asked you here to talk about something that's really cool, and I have a feel it'll make everybody's life easier. It may be more fun. And normally when I start these talks, I start with saying, here's what we're talking about. Just feel a little uncertain about how to talk about it, because if I say, well, this is partially a talk about joy versus fear, you'll say, there are lots of those. Let's go find something more interesting, and you won't watch this one. And if I say, well, this is a talk about science, you'll say, oh, that's boring, and you'll go away. And there's a little science in it. And if I say this is a talk about being more successful, well, everything I've taught you is about being more successful, so that's not really clear. So instead of telling you what I'm going to tell you and then telling you what I told you, let's just muddle ahead. Now, most of you have struggled one time or another. Right? You've gotten close to bedtime and, oh, I haven't done my exercise for today. Well, I guess I'll do them, but I'm so tired. Oh, I need to make this decision over and over, and it's hard work, and I'm so tired of doing it, but I need to. And, oh, I got to remember to breathe and ground. Right? It can be a struggle. Years ago, I ran across this quote. It said, when you're growing, pain's part of the process. The pain's a given. But the suffering is an option. Right? Sometimes you have growing pains, it's going to hurt, but suffering is a choice. I want you to know that if you want to change, change is a given. Change is necessary. And change involves, work. It doesn't happen just by accident. I mean, getting old and getting fat kind of happen, but believe it or not, you're putting work into those things. You just don't realize it. Change involves work, but the struggle is an option. And this is something that it's easy to overlook. I know this sounds boring. It's because I feel a bit tired. You'll just have to put up with it. Not quite as animated as I would be had I actually slept in the last 2 years. The struggle is a part of life. And just out of curiosity, I went to a Bing image search, because I don't use Google anymore, and looked up images with the word struggle. And almost everything I found was a quote made into a picture. And all of them talking about how wonderful struggle is and how struggle's important and, find your joy in the struggle. And I think I only found only one, that said you can't find joy in struggle because joy and struggle are different directions. And that's a big part of what I want to talk to you about. Now, joy. I remember teaching some of the first of you about joy and how it was important. And I don't know what joy is. I don't know how to play. I don't get all this stuff. Right? So rather than trying to define joy, let's leave it as an abstract, like a point, a line, a plane, and joy. Right? We just start with that. It exists. All right. Let's talk generally about something that is actually related, and that's problem solving. Useful skill, right? Every company you go to wants you to be a problem solver. It's one I still struggle with because I have made a lot of resumes in my life. And almost every single one, the very first skill listed was problem solving. I'm good at it. Give me a problem, I can solve it. Yeah? Now, if you remember, however, I have told you guys that if you're constantly looking for things that are wrong inside and trying to fix them, you're always going to notice what's wrong. And you're going to have more and more things that are wrong in your life. If you're looking for problems, you find problems. That shouldn't be too complicated. The problem with problem solving is that you're looking for problems. Or by announcing you're good at problem solving, you're letting other people look for problems and bring them to you. Everybody wants to bring someone else their problems. The problem with problem solving is problems. So I have encouraged you, instead of looking for what's wrong and trying to fix it so you can be healthy and happy, look for what's right and make it stronger. If you're a sensor becoming a shaper, don't look for all the sensey pieces and stomp on them. Look for the shaper pieces and make them bigger and louder and noisier and more voluptuous and more shapy. Right? If you're a shaper becoming a sensor, instead of looking at all the shaper bits and getting rid of them, look for the sensey bits and celebrate them. Notice things. Feel them. Experience them. And make the sensor pieces stronger. I have encouraged one of this number to focus more on being sexy instead of being smart. And I have a feeling that just about every school teacher, and all of the female school teachers, and most parents out there and the professors, they'd all be booing and hissing and throwing tomatoes at me. It's a problem when you wear white. They don't make white tomatoes. Right? But I'm very insistent about this. See, in looking for the sexy, you find the passionate. And in the passionate, you find the excitement. And in the excitement, you take all of this joy and express it and make it bigger. And what happens is you get curious about things and you explore things and you delve and you find the deep stuff, and you're not struggling to be smart. You're just really excited and happy, and so you're digging deeper and you're learning more and understanding more, and things make more sense. Right? So by trying to be sexy, you're being passionate and you're actually getting smarter. By trying to be smart, the way your world does smart, you're building up all these walls and saying, this stuff is smart and that side out there, that stuff out there, it isn't. And you're building yourself into a tower. Not an ivory tower, but a tower made of lies and self-deception. So, problem solving has the same problem. Instead of finding all the wonderful things in the world and celebrating them and helping them to grow stronger, is looking for the wrong things and judging them and saying these are bad, and then trying to find a solution to make them not so bad. It will work. See, the problem-solving approach is the approach of struggle, of pain, because you're looking for all the bad things, all the wrong things, all the uncomfortable things, and you're focused on them, and you're going to find lots of things to struggle with, and you're going to struggle. Or you're going to quit and give up. But assuming that you keep going, you're going to struggle. See, so problem solving is the struggle path. And this is important because all of you who want to be successful have been taught to be problem solvers. And as I said about the image search, all the quotes on struggle make it out to be your friend. Oh, struggle's a good thing. Find joy in struggle. Celebrate your struggle. Struggle more. Through struggle comes success. But no. Through struggle comes a small amount of success and a lot more struggle. Why? Because what we exercise gets stronger. Right? If you're exercising your biceps get stronger. If you're exercising your delts get stronger. If you exercise your ability to whine and complain, you're going to get better at whining and complaining. You've all seen it in yourself and in others. If you exercise the yay, ooh, this is something cool. Let me look at it and say yay. What you find is that more and more as you're walking through life, you're saying, oh, there's something cool. Yay. And it's not complicated. What you exercise gets stronger. Right? If you work from struggle and pain, which are the domain of problem solving, let's find all the bad things and try to make them not so bad, what you'll get is more struggle and pain. And that shouldn't be a surprise. What you exercise gets stronger. Right? So working with lots of struggle, I'm going to make it, I'm going to get through this if it kills me, gives you more struggle. And a small amount of beauty, of ease, of fun. Because you've got something that doesn't work and you go and find a solution and you work on it and you struggle and, you find a solution. And that solution, there's a little bit of elegance and things are easier. Struggle and pain gives you more struggle and pain and a tiny bit of fun, joy, ease, beauty. Right? But if you did it differently, if instead you started from a perspective of beauty, ease, joy, fun, you'll get more beauty, ease, joy, fun, because what you exercise gets stronger and a small amount of struggle. And this is a really obvious idea, but it's obvious in theory. And ideas are only useful if they're useful in practice. That means talking about stuff's cool, but actually doing something is important. Yes? Theory's good in theory. But in practice, practice is better. So, I'm telling you that you can approach your life through struggle and pain and the problem-solving mentality, or through beauty and ease and joy. And you say, well, in theory, that kind of makes sense, but what good is it? Well, let's take a mundane experience like going through a day, right? You walk into the kitchen and there's dirty dishes in the sink. The problem solver says there's dirty dishes. I should wash the dishes so the kitchen's not so bad. Oh, grump, 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 I do my dishes, and all right, the dishes are done. The kitchen's a little better. It's still kind of gross, but it's better. Right? That's a struggle approach to a simple thing. But the beauty and ease perspective walks into the kitchen and sees the dishes, says the dishes need done. Right? What can I do that's interesting? Well, I need to decide what I'm doing tonight. Am I going to go out with my friends? Am I going to stay home and watch my favorite television show? Am I going to read a good book or go dancing? You know what? I need to think about that for a little while. So while the important parts of me are thinking about that, my hands can wash dishes. So your hands are washing dishes and the water's keeping you grounded. I could go here and I could do that. And well, it'd be fun if I did this. I haven't seen that person in a while. I should invite them. And you decide that you're going to go out. And all right, so while you're doing the dishes and your hands are keeping busy, oh, I could wear this. That would be an awesome outfit. And I could invite, I don't want to take that person because they'd be really cool. And so you're planning out this cool stuff you're going to do. You're still aware. You're still present. Your hands are still doing it. You're just not saying, oh, dishes, this is a problem. You're saying, oh, this is just something for my hands to play with while I'm thinking. Right? So you do it. All right, well, then this is where I'm going to go tonight. That's what I'm going to wear. And you look down and say, wow, the kitchen's clean. This is cool. How'd that happen? Right? And you've done the same thing in both cases, but one you did from a perspective of looking for the beauty, the ease, the fun. And one you did from a perspective of problem solving, which is struggle. Right? So you've done that. Your dishes are done. You think, well, let me go get in touch with my friends, and you tell them via whatever tweet or twaddle you use. And you decide, well, I better take a shower before I go out tonight. You walk in the shower, and it's a mess. You can say, oh, the shower's a mess. Sure, I'm going to take a bath. The bathroom's a mess. Ugh. All right, I'll clean that up. Clearly, this is being done from struggle. Here's a hint. put a mirror next to yourself while you're working sometimes. When you're doing this, it's called beetle browed. When your brows are down and your lips are tight and your head's maybe a little to one side and there's that tension in your neck, you're doing it from struggle. When you look like this, you're doing it from ease. Just notice that. Just get used to looking at yourself. And if you don't have a mirror, just get used to the way it feels. Because this feels different than this. Right? Really easy to tell. So you walk into the shower or, to the bathroom to clean up for the night. You say, oh, it's a mess. From a perspective of struggle, you'd say, well, I need to clean this. And I'll pick this, I'll do that, and you notice the brows, and you get it done, and then you take a shower, right? But from a perspective of beauty and ease, you'll say, I want to take a shower or take a bath, but this room's kind of a mess. And I won't enjoy myself as much if it's a mess. So let me, turn on the water and let the water start warming up or the tub start filling. And while it's doing, I'll just, grab these couple things and toss them in the bin and, put that back where it goes. And, your focus is on, I'm going to take a hot shower. I'm going to take a long soak and it's going to be cool. And just while I'm waiting for that to get ready, I'll just handle a few things. And your whole focus in the process is on the beauty and the fun and the ease. And so by the time the bathtub's filling up or the water's a good temperature and the room's all steamy, you look and say, wow, all that stuff that was here? Yeah, I threw that away. I put those things back. This place looks all right. Right? If you only clean once a month, this isn't going to work. And this is an important lesson because this actually applies to everything that you do. If you let stuff build up for a month and then once a month you spend hours and hours trying to clean it up, your life is going to have a lot of struggle. Right? But if you clean as a constant, all right, I'm sitting right here. Let me just organize that all the time. Whenever you brush your teeth, you say, oh, I didn't get rid of that. You throw it away. Oh, I didn't put that back. You put it back while you're, brushing your teeth. If it's just a constant part of your life, then it only ever takes a few seconds at a time. And it never really becomes a huge weight, a huge problem to solve. And see, if you're doing it from struggle, I have to clean all the time. You're going to look like this all the time. But if you can start doing the cleaning, just, cleaning your home or your apartment or your bedroom from this perspective of beauty and ease rather than from problem solving, from struggle, what you're going to find is that doing it all the time is not a problem. In fact, it's a constant reminder to work from a place of beauty and ease. Because every time you start to do it, you can look. Right? The reason cleaning is important, I don't care if your house is a mess. If I'm not visiting, it doesn't matter. But the reason it matters is that it is true for being grounded, for being in your guts, for having integrity, from being aware and sensing, from paying attention to the flow, the things that you guys do all the time. If you do that from here, oh, I'm not grounded, I gotta ground. Oh, I'm not breathing, I gotta breathe. Then your life is constantly the struggle. But if you can say, oh, well, I'm going to do this, while I do it, I'll just be grounded. Ah, cool. My feet can stay grounded while I'm doing dishes. Yeah, many of you do that. If you can shift from doing ground, center, breathe, your fundamentals, and then sensing, doing, or the flow, the fundamentals for the three clans, if you can switch those to doing those from a perspective of beauty and ease, then you can do them all the time, just like cleaning your home. And if you're always grounded and you're always breathing, then stuff doesn't have a month to build up, and then you don't have a huge mess to shovel your way through. Because you're always grounded and you're always breathing, and the little stuff is just sorting itself out. Right? So this beauty and ease isn't a theory. It can be applied to every moment in your life. Now, the point, the line, the plane, and joy. this undefined thing. That's okay. It can stay undefined. It's a primary. You don't have to get it. You have life force. If you didn't, you'd be dead. You've seen people who are very sick or very weak or on their deathbed. They have very little life force. You get that life force, however you call it in your particular worldview, you get it by eating things, by maybe being in shape, by breathing. Right? As long as you're breathing and eating right, you'll have some energy and you can go through your day. When you're tired, you sleep and then you eat and you breathe some more. And you have life energy. And that life energy doesn't sit in a bucket. It has to do something. It has to move. Right? If you had really healthy blood in your heart and it weren't anywhere else in your body, you wouldn't live very long. The heart has to, right? As it's circulating that blood, and the blood carries life force. It carries nutrients, it carries oxygen. Right? In the same way, from, let's call it an abstract perspective or a meta perspective, the life force that you get from eating and breathing has to move. And when it comes up, it can immediately go one of two ways. And those ways are to joy or to fear. See, I told you this was about joy and fear. Now, if it goes to fear, you'll recognize that. Oh no, what are they going to think? What should I do? Is this right? Do I look fat in these jeans? Right? You'll recognize these things. You've done them your whole life. That's the fear. And the other one, where you just, that's joy. So you don't have to understand it. The energy either goes to joy or fear, and if it's going to fear, it's the wrong one, and you know that. So when you find it going to fear, don't fix the problem. That's not our answer. We're not struggling here. When you find it going to fear, stop and say, ooh, I'm feeding that fear. I don't want to feed the fear. Let's do something healthier. And you think of something that makes you happy. You pet a cat or feed the dog or go for a walk or, take a hot bath or whatever it is that helps you relax a little bit. Right? You either feed joy or fear. Now, if you feed the fear, the next step up here, and I have spelled these out just so that I don't skip steps and confuse you later. The next step from fear is the emotion. Because fear isn't an emotion. Fear is a primary like joy. The next step up from fear is the emotion. And the emotion tends to be anger or struggle or hopelessness. Oh, it's just too much. I can't do it anymore. Right? And from that emotion, it feeds up to the place where it wants to start expressing out in the world. And it expresses either as neurotic, oh, I can never get this right. It's too hard. I just can't do this stuff. Nobody's ever going to like me. Or aggressive, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. Right? So fear to struggle, anger, or helpless. That feeds up to neurotic or aggressive. And the neurotic and aggressive, they both feed up to criticism. And you'll recognize criticism is the root of problem solving. This is a bad thing. We have to make it a good thing. Criticism is the root of problem solving, thus the root of the whole struggle perspective. Right? And those two, the neurotic aggressive and the criticism, those two levels, that is the entirety of intellect. Everything you think of as smart comes from those two centers. So, your world's definition of smart, every test you've ever taken to prove you're smart. You don't sit down and say, yay, an IQ test, let's fill this out. Oh, no. All my future schools, all my employers are going to look at this. I have to do that, I have to do that. I have to have some coffee. All that you think of as intellect, and I told you this would be about science, all of your science comes from this perspective. You need in science to find a problem. You need to find a solution to that problem. You need to build a model. You need to test that model. Do you know, for those of you who aren't scientists, that the official definition in science is you can never prove anything? Did you know that? Anybody who's a scientist knows that. You can never prove anything because there's too much possibility out there. You can only disprove. So what you do once you've come up with a model is you make up experiments to prove yourself wrong. Yeah, that seems really light side, really healthy and joyful. No, you make up experiments to prove yourself wrong. And if the experiments fail, you say, well, it doesn't prove me wrong, so maybe I'm right. And you write a paper, and everybody says, wow, you're so smart and so intelligent and so much learning, right? And all of this comes from these two centers, which are the neurotic or aggressive and the criticism. All of it. All your intellect, all your education of children, all your scientists, all your smart people in this world, they all work from the domain of neurotic, aggressive, and then of critical. You're writing a doctoral thesis. What do? You give it to them, and they look for all the problems, and they criticize it, and they tell you how to solve the problems. Why? Well, we're trying to make it better for you. Right? All they're doing is criticizing. But I like this. This is important. Yes, but I don't feel it's acceptable. It's all critical. And it all comes from neurotic, which comes out of fear, or aggressive, which comes out of fear. Neurotic. Oh, what will people think if this gets published? Or aggressive. Oh, those idiots will criticize it, so we can't do it. Right? Because they know that all of the rest of the intellect out there is criticism. And everyone else out there is neurotic and aggressive. And so they work from that. Everything that you consider smart, neurotic and aggressive, criticism. And this is another reason why I've told you to focus on sexy rather than smart. Because sexy comes from this joy side over here, not the fear side. Like, oh, wow, I feel sexy. This is cool. I like it. Right? So I've encouraged you to move away from that smart. Here's what happens if instead of going the fear side, you go the joy side. Right? The joy, when it gets to that second center, the emotional stuff, hits play, fun, exploration. Right? Joy, when it starts bubbling up, ooh, hey, this is fun, this is cool. Celebration should probably be in the list as well. Oh, this is cool, yay, I like it. And when it's cool, you want to do more. You want to do more, you do more. Hey, this is a cool game, I'm going to play more. Oh, this homework sucks, I don't want to do it. Right? So that joy, when it comes up to the emotion, it immediately encourages you to do more, to put in more effort, to try harder. But it's not trying harder. Right? If you've finally figured out how to get laid and you're getting laid 4-5 times a week, it doesn't seem like a lot of work. Oh, this is cool. I want to do more. And you do more and you work at it and you try and you get better and better. Right? If it's a video game, oh, more pylons. I need more pylons. Yay. Right? Catherine, open that window. So the fear went up to struggle and anger. The joy goes up to play, fun, exploration. Right? Now, that second stage, where the struggle went up to the neurotic and aggressive, the play, when it wants to start expressing in the world, expresses as curious. Ooh, I wonder how that works. What will they do if I touch them here? What happens if I push this button? What if I put a pylon there? Right? Curiosity and energy, active. Ooh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I'm tired, but this is so cool. I'm going to do some more. Right? It also comes up with a sense of infatuation or in love. Oh, I love those shoes. Oh, I love this game. It's so cool. Oh, I love doing this. I love hanging out with you. Right? So that fun and exploration comes up to a stage which is curiosity, which is also in love or infatuation. Right? And finally, that comes up to what I'd call the social level, and that's beauty. Because without realizing it, you're looking for beauty in your life. Everybody is. You surround yourself with things. Or you keep the space around you completely empty because you find the emptiness more beautiful, more harmonious. Right? And so this in love, infatuation, energetic, curious, all of it comes up to a stage of recognizing beauty. The other side, at that same level, is criticism. Right? So in criticism, saying, well, that's not right, I don't like that. In beauty, you're saying, ooh, I like that, I like that. And you look at it and like, ooh, that's ugly. Yes! But this is beautiful. Right? So I'm not encouraging you to ignore all the ugly things in your life. I'm telling you that the ugly things in your life, or your recognition of the ugliness, comes from criticism. And criticism comes from the fear path, not from the joy path. I encourage you instead to find the beauty. Now, I have, and maybe some of you will reach this place, I have found that I can take the ugliest, most horrible thing and approach it from the light side, start with joy and excitement, and really study it and get to know it at a deep level. And in that thing, I can find beauty. No matter how ugly it might seem on the surface, if I really get to know it, I will find the beauty in it. Right? And whereas the fear side stops there above the criticism, boom, it can't get any higher. This side actually goes up. Right? And the next level we'll just kind of ignore for a moment because it's getting too abstract. But the next level up is the hearts. So you go from play and fun and exploration to curious, infatuated, in love, active, excited, right? Up to, wow, this is so beautiful. My life is so amazing, right? From there, the heart starts to come online. And there, instead of being in love, which is a sort of momentary, transient, quasi-emotional experience, you hit a state of the heart opening and really loving something. And I recognize that's abstract to anybody who hasn't experienced it, and probably confusing or even wishy-washy to those who don't get it. But I tell you, I guarantee that when you begin to really see the beauty in things, you will begin to love those things. And it's not a love that says, I want to control this, I want to tell it what to do. I notice the brows. What's that tell us? That tells us we've gone up the fear side, into struggle, into criticism, into problem solving. Love is not problem solving. If for you love is problem solving, you're missing the point. You've gone up totally the wrong path. Which is why when I started this, I said, I saw a quote that said, love your struggles, find joy in your struggles, and all of these, page after page of images of quotes, and only one, which said, joy and struggle cannot exist at the same time because they're different directions. Only one. And that's what I'm telling you. Joy is one place your life energy can go. And it comes up to curiosity and beauty and in love and excited and passionate and eventually to the heart, to it opening up and something that can't really be described in human terms because too few of you know it to have created the terms for it. Or it can come up to criticism and problem solving and the brows. Right? Joy and struggle cannot ever happen at the same time. You have a switch at the bottom, like a valve. You're shifting that life energy this way and it's coming up to struggle, or you're shifting it this way and it's coming up to beauty. There is no in between. There is no compromise. You can't put a little splitter and alternate. A little joy, a little fear. You can't. You're either feeding joy or you're feeding fear. And if you're feeding fear, you're getting to struggle and problem solving. And if you're feeding joy, you're getting to beauty and celebration. That's it. It's that simple. So I have talked to you before about joy and fear. And that's why I didn't want to start this as, well, this is a joy and fear talk. You've talked about that so many times. That's stupid. Notice the brows. You're problem solving the joy and fear. It's not the answer. What I'm doing is saying, all right, that stuff's primary. That stuff's down at the bottom. That's, point, line, and plane stuff. Point, line, plane, joy, and fear. Undefined primaries. We build the rest from it. I'm saying that when it comes up to a place where you can feel it, the feelings will lead you to a sense of struggle, of anger, of frustration, of hopelessness, of aggression, of neurotic anxiety. Or it will lead you up to a sense of play and fun and exploration, to a sense of being in love, of being curious, of being infatuated, and from there to a recognition of beauty. And I'm telling you this practically, because I don't want this to be abstract. Theory is good, in theory, but in practice, practice is better. In practice, you can approach everything in your life without worrying about the joy and fear and am I grounded and all that stuff, just from The brows. Is it struggle or is it beauty? If it's beauty, then it's ease and it's fun. If it's struggle, then it's problem solving, and your brows start to hurt after a while. No wonder you people get headaches. It's really tough to do. I'm not used to that expression, right? And as I said, this is something that I get to work on too, because problem solving was one of my strongest suits. I was a good problem solver. It's on all my resumes. But problem solving took me up the path of fear. And when I tried to go up the path of joy, it was very difficult to work as a problem solver. Your problem that needs to be solved here is that problem solving is totally in this path. You need to start looking at life from beauty. And then you say, how can I make it even more beautiful? Looking at it from fun, how can I make it even more fun? Instead of saying, oh no, am I grounded? Notice the brows, this path. Saying, oh, I like being a source or a sensor or a shaper, right? And I make a better source or sensor or shaper when I'm grounded. And I like being a better source, so I'm going to be a better source. Yay. You start doing that bouncing thing. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Makes me dizzy. No, you go ahead. It makes me dizzy when I do it. So, in practice, right? In theory, joy versus fear is the fundamental of everything we do. And in theory, it's very abstract. What's joy versus fear? How do I know? Instead, I'm giving you practice. Just put a mirror next to where you're working and watch. Every time you do anything, do you look like this? Or do you look like this? And you say, well, I can't do this. I can't. There's too much in my life. And I say, look at your brows. No wonder you can't do this because you're doing this. Your head can't kind of bop back and forth and show how happy you are when you have tension in your shoulders and neck. Ow, that really hurts. Don't do that. Ugh. Right? So what I'm giving you is doing. Simple, practical doing. I want you, instead of solving problems and struggling, to just try to find the beauty in things. Even if it's doing dishes, find the beauty in the dishes. When you're doing it and you find yourself going like this, stop for a moment and say, wait a minute, this is struggle. And the angel said, struggle and beauty can't happen at the same time. How do I do this from beauty? Oh, now there's a problem to solve. No. Your problem here is that most of you are educated, and your entire education from when you're, knee-high to a grasshopper to whatever age you are now has taught you the fear side. All of your schools teach fear. All of your schools teach anxiety and aggression and hopelessness. No matter how hard you work, what does your teacher do? Put a bunch of big red X's. Bad, and hand it back. And think, wow, I'm a bad person. Look at all those red X's. If your teachers were smart, what they do is take a green marker, because green's a good color, stoplights and all, and go through and circle all the answers you got right. So look at all that green. I must be brilliant. Notice the eyes. This is what joy looks like. This is fun and curiosity. Wow, look how smart I am. I have all these green circles. Somebody says, well, I didn't have as many green circles, but I got a lot of green circles. Look. Whoa, you got green circles too. And so instead of your teachers bleeding all over your papers and cutting your ribbons, they should be celebrating the things you got right. And since most of you, instead of going to teachers now, are living lives where you've become your own teachers, stop bleeding all over your papers. Stop putting big red X's on all the things you're doing wrong, and start circling the things you got right. Right? So many of you want to take all of the different pieces of your life and make them all strong. You say, a chain's only as strong as its weakest link, and this is my weak link, so this is a problem. I have to fix it. Notice my brows. Oh, that really is difficult. Ugh, don't do that. Right? If you look at your life as a chain trying to fix the weakest link, all you're doing is draping your life in chains, and you don't need more of those. Instead, find the things you're good at. Find the things you enjoy. Find the things that make your head bounce and make you happy and make you passionate and curious and in love and playful and exploring, and make those things stronger. Okay? This is not chains we're trying to make the weakest link stronger. These are plants in a garden. Find the healthiest, biggest, shiniest plants and make them stronger. And the ones that aren't doing so well, maybe that plant is in the wrong kind of soil. Put it somewhere else and put more of the happy plants there and let them get bigger. And those ones that aren't doing so well, put them somewhere else. Or if they're, tomatoes or green beans, quit growing them. Nobody should eat that horrible stuff. Ugh. Lima beans. What are they thinking? No, that's not criticism. I'm not doing this. It's just, ooh, I don't like that taste. I'll try something else. So, lots and lots of words, right? But I will sum it up as very simple doing. As you go through your life, watch. Every moment, just be aware. When you're doing this, you're acting from struggle. When you're doing this, you're acting from beauty. That's all. And if you can get this, struggle versus beauty in everything all the time, you'll find you want to do more, and it's cool, and it's exciting, and your life is full of passion and fun and ease. And when you start, as I said from the beginning, from a place of beauty and ease, you create lots of beauty and ease and a little struggle. And yeah, there will be difficult times where, I have to get through this. It's really difficult. Right? But beauty and ease will create more beauty and ease and a little struggle. Struggle, problem solving, will create lots of struggle and a little beauty and ease. It's that simple. Make a choice. And if you don't understand this fundamental stuff, because it's way deep down there, just watch your brows and see if they're doing this. I won't even do it because, I have a headache now from doing so much of that. That's better. Don't do that. That's messy. Right? In your life, moment to moment, watch your brows, the tension in your neck, and decide if in that moment, in that instant, you're acting from struggle and problem solving or from beauty and ease. And then make a decision what you want. If you want more problems and struggle in your life, practice that. If you want more beauty and ease, practice that. That's all.